Welcome, everyone. Yes, you're right. This is our 299th Sunday gathering. We're almost at the end of our sixth year together. That's so hard to believe. I'm Sandra. If we haven't yet met, I am joined today by a wonderful team, Kath and Mitch Shirley, who are both just great people. They've been around the block quite a bit, both traveling wise, experience wise. They're mediums, they're advanced grief recovery specialists. They are employed elsewhere and just lovely, lovely, lovely people. Before we get going on our Sunday gathering, there's quite a few upsetting things that are happening in the world. And I know we sit for healing on each and every Sunday gathering, but my request is just that we send a little extra. We just have that little prayer in our heart. Whatever is needed, take from me so it can serve more people. We've had a shooting here in the state that I live in Rhode Island, of course, in Australia as well, Syria. There's devastation going on in lots of places. Not only that, there's lots of health issues, especially with people in our community. So that's my first request, is just that we send a little extra today. Plus, it's the holiday time, which holiday blues can kick in. So with that, our theme today is our journeys. Kath, Mitch, and I were trying to decide on a good theme. They just recently came back from Japan. Can you imagine? So not just our physical journeys, but our spiritual journeys as well. Kath and Mitch will be taking care of our prayers today. They'll be doing the address and the demonstration of mediumship. I will be doing the reading, the announcements, words of the week, and all those little bits in between, including playing a disc jockey with the music, all kindly picked by Kath and Mitch. So whatever has brought you here today, we welcome you. We're here for about 90 minutes. At the Sunday gathering page at wedon'tdie.com. You can watch hundreds of past Sunday gatherings. If you ever need a little upliftment, you can find them there. And the link that you use today becomes the replay link. So if you ever have to leave a little bit early, never fear, you can watch the rest of it. So a warm welcome to you, and I'm going to pass it over to one of my friends for the opening prayer.
Thank you so much. And hi, everybody. I hope that you are beginning your Sunday or partway through your Sunday with a lot of peace in your lives. And as we begin, as always, this evening service, well, it's evening for us, we always begin with an opening prayer. Divine and infinite Spirit, we thank you for the many blessings in our lives. Blessed are we who can come together through the ether over the miles and miles that separates us. Nevertheless, like-minded people who can come together, who can share their thoughts, who can sit with one another, sending out their healing, their prayers, their love. Blessed are we who are fortunate enough to sit in a place that's safe, to sit in our homes with our family, to sit with love in our hearts, in our lives, to know that we are held securely, patiently, and with the utmost respect. On this day, we ask that those who are grieving, the families and the victims and all the victims' families, be held and have space to be loved, to be helped to grieve, to cry, to share their grief with one another, to be upheld in this place where they are, to help them to make sense of what has gone on. And for us, not just to give lip service to peace, but let peace begin with us in our thoughts, in our deeds, and in our actions, in how we speak to one another, in how we act with one another, how we can change in a small way, indeed can have a ripple effect upon the world. We know because we can see that the opposite works. So surely if we all put our heads, our hearts and our souls together for the goodness of mankind, we can have that effect. We can be the light of the world, and we can light the world to show that goodness, that love, kindness and compassion is the way to go forwards and can help humanity and can build a better place, not just for us, for our future generations as well. So now we leave this service in God's hands, knowing that all will be done in humility, sincerity, and of course, with a great amount of love. Amen.
Thank you so much, Kath. Okay, the reading. Our theme today is our journey. This is such a big topic because we are really on two journeys at the same time. We have the physical journey, the one with our jobs, the relationships, the health scares, the plans we make. And then we have the soul journey, the one that is happening underneath it all. Sometimes when the physical road gets rocky, we think we are lost. But I want to share a story about a traveler who learned the difference between the map and the path. Once upon a time, there was a traveler named Louis. Louis was a very prepared man. Before he began his life's journey, he drew a meticulous map. He marked it with bright red ink. First, I will climb the mountain of success. For meals, I will dine at the restaurant of perfect quality and service. Then I will swim in the river of perfect health. Finally, I will build a house in the valley of happily ever after. He held his map tight. It was his plan. It was his promise. But halfway up the mountain of success, a storm rolled in, a storm he hadn't predicted. The wind tore at his coat. The rain blurred his vision. He slipped and fell, tumbling back down to the bottom. Bruised, limping, and very hungry, he tried to find the restaurant of perfect service. He wanted that hot meal. He wanted someone to serve him. But when he got to the spot on the map, there was no building. There was only a cold, empty cave. Louis sat on a rock and cried. He ate a handful of dried berries that he found in the bushes. He looked at his soggy, torn map. I have failed, he whispered. I am not where I'm supposed to be. The service here is terrible. My journey is ruined. Suddenly, he felt a warm hand on his shoulder. He looked up to see an old woman with eyes like starlight. She was a guide. Why do you cry, traveler? She asked. Look at my map, Louis cried. I was supposed to be at the peak. I was supposed to be eating a 5-course meal. Instead, I am muddy, injured, cold, and eating wild berries, and I have gone nowhere. The guide smiled gently and took the map from Louis's hands. My dear, she said, this piece of paper was just the plan for your feet. But life is a plan for your soul. She pointed to his bruised knees. You fell off the mountain, yes? But in the falling, did you not learn how to stand up again? Did you not learn courage? Louis nodded slowly. She pointed to the wild berries in his hand. You missed the restaurant, yes? But in your hunger, did you not learn to feed yourself? Did you not find sweetness in the simple things? Louis nodded again. You see, the guide whispered, the physical journey is just the scenery. It changes, it breaks, it detours. But the soul journey, that is not about where you go. It is about who you are becoming while you are walking. Louis looked at his hands. They were dirtier than when he started, but they were stronger too. He stood up. He left the ruined map on the rock. He didn't know where the next path would lead, but for the first time, He wasn't afraid. He knew that no matter where his feet went, his soul was exactly where it needed to be. So, what's the meaning? Well, my friends, aren't we all a little bit Louie? We all have a map in our heads about how this life is supposed to go. We all want to dine at the restaurant of perfect service, where life is easy and everything goes our way. And when we hit a detour, a diagnosis, a loss, a change we didn't ask for, we think, I am lost and this is wrong. Let's remember, we are all on a soul journey. The detour is the path. The obstacle is the lesson. So this week, if your physical map isn't looking exactly the way you planned, take a deep breath. You aren't lost. You are just growing. Your feet might be muddy, but your soul, well, your soul is shining. So I hope you enjoyed my parable for today. I love doing these parables. We're going to move on to our healing. This is an opportunity for us to really send that concentrated healing and love to those in need. We don't need to know how it works. We just have to have that sincere prayer inside of us to let us be used for service. I believe in my heart that those in the unseen world can use our human energy and direct it to where it is needed. So the song we have today is Postcards from Heaven by the Lighthouse Family. And when the song ends, we will hear from Mitch and Kath for the address. Now, I know it's easy to get caught up in our busy minds and things, but maybe just stay present for the music, whether you keep your eyes open or closed, and just really try to be present and say, take from me what is needed, offer that healing. Okay, let me find the song and then we'll be back.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you wouldn't have been aware of is me and Kath had the usual discussion where Kath decides what I'm going to do. And that's part of my journey. It's one that I'm very one of the biggest problems in my working life, especially, is the fact that most people who I've managed or worked with and worked with me, even though I may have been technically their boss, I've often said, you're very louche. And that suits me because I can change direction like a sailboat. That doesn't bother me. And I only actually said to Kath, as Sandra was doing the fable and that, I said, which plan have we been following? I said, because we've been together now 40 years. It's 40 years now.
We were children, obviously.
Well, technically, I'm just in the adulthood. I was 19, Kath was 20 when we met. And, you look back over that time and you think, well, 40 years later, I never thought, I never imagined what those 40 years, 2/3 of my life, as I approach coming to be 60 in March. And when I look at that journey and how it's shaped and affected me, so much of it, I have been given the opportunity to be who I am because of the support that I've received from Kath. From the fact of going, I've got to say something. And she says, well, that's who you are. I support you. And, that's incredibly helpful in anyone's life to be told, no matter what, I support you. You be you. Not trying to hone and take off the edges because we are all diamonds in the rough, to steal a line from Disney. And recognize that our life whether it's long or short, no matter how difficult it may become at times. We will gradually take off the roughness. And for some of us, it takes many times of smashing our head against a wall to finally get something through. And the definition of madness is repeating the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. Now, I think most of us, if we're honest, have been guilty of that a few times. Until we actually realize, as we get shined, buffed, the edge taken off, we actually realize that what may have been important to us 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago isn't anymore. I know there are subtle little changes that we all gradually make in our lives. And all of a sudden there's a realization of, I've changed. I've actually grown in my understanding. And I found in this life that so many times that have been presented with the same or very similar scenarios just to test me whether I have learned it or not. How are you going to deal with it this time? Now, the things that I've learned have worked. They work better. But one of the things that I am still working on, I know I'm better at, but I'm certainly not perfect, is not chasing to be proven right. Even though I may, within me, I may be truly right. Or I may just feel that I'm right. So you can tell Kath's looking at me and think, where's he going with this one? But it is that thing of we chase being proven right rather than doing what's right. By saying, I've done that. I know why I did it. I don't need somebody else to tell me. I don't need somebody else to approve of what I've done. My knowledge that the reason why I did it is sufficient. And I am worthy of just being me. And for me, that's a crucial part of the journey. And I have a question that's got me into a lot of trouble over the years because I've readily asked it. And it's a very short question. Why? Why does that work like that? You know, the old Fisher Price, what happens if I push? What happens if I pull? And I've always searched to find out where are those little buttons that we all have. I know where mine are, and I can tell them before anybody else. It doesn't matter who they are. I can tell them exactly where they are. This one, this, pull that, you'll get this response. Do this, you'll get this response. Because there are certain things that are within us that are who we are. And try as we might, we cannot change that. But we still have a decision to make. Is that going to serve me best? Or do I need to remove myself from that situation? I can't change it. So do I need to go through it again? Do I need to put myself through in this journey of life? Do I need to learn that lesson? Or how do I need to learn that lesson? But especially, why do I need to learn this lesson? Because we're all trying to be that clear-cut diamond. Well, that takes eternity. The beauty is that our light can shine in this world, no matter how our diamond is cut, no matter what shape. There are many fashions. You look at all the diamonds throughout the world. There are many well-known, wonderful, incredible diamonds with incredible cuts and this, that, and the other. But it's funny, you know. They're all beautiful. They're all amazing. But none of them are the same. So that's our journey. Accept that we're different. Accept that we don't fit in. Our bum's too big. Our legs won't bend. My head won't go in there. Whatever it is, my ears stick out. They're just not working. Whatever's wrong with us physically, we can actually still learn from it. We can still learn to have a benefit, and everything has an advantage. My son-in-law often said when we were putting downlighting lights in, he goes, "Oh, what size hole are we cutting?" And I said, "Well, these are 70mm holes." "Oh, so I'm putting them in then, because my hand won't go in, squeezing. If it's cut at 73, just get it in." But his hand's across the width of that, a little bit slimmer. So he can just squeeze his hand that little bit more. But yeah, I can get in there and I can do what I've got to do. So just that tiny little difference is enough for somebody to be able to do something, and for someone else to not. So unless we're going to go around and change everything physically about ourselves, you know, we aren't transformers. We can't physically transform left, right, and centre. And nothing happens back of the finger. So everything is work, everything is effort. It's far nicer to stand on the mountain and just have a look down and go, wow, that's my journey. Nobody else could have done it but me.
Thank you. I did wonder what he was going to say then. I think to add to that, the journey of our soul is one that, and you know, where does it begin? At what point is our soul beginning the journey? And where does it go to when this physical existence comes to its end? And I kind of think that while we are here on this earth and we are existing, and hopefully for a large portion of our lives, we are enjoying our journey. Of course, it's always varied, it's unique. Nobody else has the same journey. And what we have along the journey, what creates who we are and really molds and shapes our soul are those experiences, the experiences of childhood and the way in which we were all nurtured, the friendships that we form as children and those friendships that perhaps we continue into adulthood or we make new friendships, all of the different firsts that we experience. And a lot of these things we can remember still. You know, most of us can still remember the first day we went to school. I can remember the first day at school, and I was sent to school, and the most important thing was a handkerchief, and I had no idea why do I need a handkerchief? I haven't got a cold, but apparently we had to do this with a handkerchief when we had assembly to prove that we'd got a handkerchief. And to this day, I find it the most ridiculous thing that I was ever asked to do as a 5-year-old. There was no rhyme or reason to it. There was no explanation for it. We just had to have one. And I can remember when I left school, and I can remember when I started college, and I can remember when I started work and the first jobs that I did. All these things you will also remember. And it's these experiences, and as Sandra said, we've been on a journey recently to Japan, and it was a first for us. And it was a first going on a cruise. So we had a few firsts, didn't we?
And beers. Yeah.
And beers, yes, beers, Japanese beers, very nice. Um, and seen a completely different culture to one that we'd ever witnessed or experienced before. So that's another first, that's another new experience. And when we gather all these experiences, we remember where we've been, we remember what we've done. And while we're here, all of those things have an effect on us, a lifelong effect on us, you know, and we've met people in our lives who perhaps are no longer here. And I can ask you now to think of a person who has been the most influential for you in your lives, and you'll instantly think of at least one person, maybe even more. And you will remember your relationship with them. You will remember how they made you feel. You will remember the things that you did together. And all of those things are more about a feeling than words, you know. Sandra asked us about music, and a large portion of the music that you've listened to so far, we've seen the bands and you know, and it's amazing to see a live band. It's an experience that we should all do. And last year we took our youngest daughter's boyfriend with us. He'd never, in his 31 years on this earth, he'd never been to a live gig, never in his life. What was the first one? Was it Kings of Leon?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we took him to see the Kings of Leon.
And we also took him to see Peter Kay.
And he saw a comedian as well. And he was absolutely amazed by it all. We also took him to see Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats, who we absolutely adore. And they're quite big in the UK. And to see someone's expressions, to see someone's reaction to this, you know, we're in a huge stadium, and I don't think he'd ever been in a huge stadium either. And so we went up and up and up and up and up. Foo Fighters, we went to see them as well. We're just bragging now, aren't we? But why not? And we went and we sat there, and he just stood looking at all these bodies below us, and they all look like little ants moving around, don't they? And it was brilliant. It was really wonderful to see the awe in his face, and to see that he was enjoying it and he appreciated it and he was getting the best out of it. And there is a theory for lots of people, and it's a belief as well, that when our physical bodies die, that our soul journeys onwards into a place unseen. Of course, we call it the spirit world. This is something that we believe in. And then there is another portion of society who believe that that doesn't happen, but that the soul journeys through those who are left behind. But maybe it's both. I actually think that it is, because we will never, ever forget the people who've walked beside us in this world. And I'm sure if I asked most ladies whose dad is in the spirit world, can you remember sitting on your dad's knee? I can. What it felt like. Can you remember dancing on his feet? I can. And our girls know what it's like, because they've done it with Mitch. They've done it with their dad. And it's things like that. I can remember going on holiday for the very first time on an aeroplane and being amazed by it all. When we went to Japan, our children had a special request, and that was to take a photograph of the lavatory. And for I know, Sandra, I know. And for anybody who's been to Japan, you'll understand why, because they are a piece of kit. They really are. The technology is just amazing. And I came out of one ladies loos. And I said to Mitch, I don't know what it's for. I didn't press the button, but it said wand brush. And we'll leave that with everybody's imagination because yeah, so it's like, what on earth was that all about? But I don't know what it was for. So please, if you do know, I'd be very interested in that. But the technology in Japan just far outweighed anything that we see in this country. And one of the other things that we noticed in Japan, it's considered rude to speak on public transport. It's considered very respectful to be quiet. If you're going to talk, to be very quiet. It's also considered rude in a public situation to get phones out and start, messing about on your phone. It's also considered rude to push past somebody if you're in a restaurant and you're ambling towards like the counter or something. It's considered respectful to stand back, to wait for somebody, not to push. And when we were on the bullet train, um, the guard came in, he got his little pillbox hat on, hadn't he? His white gloves, and he came through and he did that. I've never been bowed to in so much in all my life. And he bowed, and everybody bowed back, and then he walked through. And the level of respect we do not see in the UK, I have to say. It was something that was something of an amazement to us. And just everything about their way of life is so much calmer, it's so peaceful, and they will never stop because one of the trips we made was to Nagasaki, which is awful, but necessary. One of the things about the journey of the soul is, like Mitch said, to stand at the top of that mountain and look down and say, this is my journey. And in the journey of humanity as a whole, we can look back and we can learn from the mistakes of the past. And Japan is trying their level best to make sure that there is never a repeat of what happened in Nagasaki and Hiroshima, because it just depleted generations. And it's absolutely heartbreaking, isn't it, to see. And to this day, the effects of what happened there continue. The death rate still goes up, even to this day. And, if we as human beings, as a collective, can know there is a right and there is a wrong, and if we keep moving forwards with our soul journey and think of others and be respectful towards the people who we meet, be mindful of what we say, what we do, what we think, how we act. I remember somebody once saying to me, if we all behaved as if there was a cameraman in front of us and we were being filmed all the time, all of our actions, all of our words, all of our conversations, even in here in our own minds, I wonder if we'd behave differently. I dare bet we would. I dare bet we would. And so to end all of this, I would just like to say that whatever journey your soul takes you on, I hope that you are getting the very best out of this life. And I hope that whatever life throws at you, you can stand back up again and say, come on, we can do this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mitch and Kath, for taking us on your little journey with you in both ways, soul and physically. Wow. I'd love to see your photos from life and all the adventures you've taken. That's the same with everyone. All right, friends, we're going to move on now to a different kind of journey. This is the journey into the spirit world. This is an opportunity for friends and loved ones who have passed from this world to come back and say hello. This is our demonstration of mediumship. One of the reasons we do this, and I firmly believe that if we human beings know that we're souls having a human experience and that we live on after death, we live a different kind of life right now. We do. So we will have some friends, relatives, who knows who are going to come through our medium demonstration today. But what I'd like to tell people, I know we have some people here for the very first time, is those that come through Mitch and Kath. I 100% believe they are here for all of us. That being said, there will be some members of our community that will receive a reading today. But for the rest of us, pay attention to just how close they are. Maybe there's some evidence of witnessing something currently in the person's life. Maybe there's a message that you say, gosh, I could really use a little bit of that myself. Kath, Mitch, and I do our very best to provide words that can impact more than one person. That's our whole community. And I do believe that those in spirit do the same thing. They know who's listening. That being said, Kath or Mitch, whoever demonstrates first or second, they will first give some evidence of the person that has stepped forward from spirit to say hello. Now, this person could be a friend, it could be a relative. They work sometimes in weird and wonderful ways. There could be someone that you haven't heard from in 40 years, and all of a sudden they're stepping forward. So we want everybody to be on the edge of your seat. They'll do a description of this person in spirit. And if you can understand that whole description of them, we want you to press your raise hand button. This is an opportunity now for you on your device to find out wherever the heck this raise hand button is and just practice pressing it. For some that are on a phone or a pad, you might need to press 3 little dots before that raise hand button goes up. And you'll notice that once you press your raise hand button, it says lower hand. Now, we are over 130 people that are here with us today. So I'm going to ask for you to be able to accept all the information before you press your raise hand button. Sometimes there are more than one person that can take all of the information. And so if that happens, and there's 2 or 3 people with their hands raised, Kath or Mitch will continue giving more evidence. And ideally, you'll say, "Ooh, that might not fit me." And then you'll press that lower hand button. Okay, see how that works? Technology can be real fun sometimes. Things don't always work the way Sandra wants them to work. So we are patient. We are patient, and we're grateful that we have technology that can connect us all over the world. If you are someone that works with our medium today, I will press a little signal, a little button, and you'll get a pop-up on your screen that is asking you to unmute. Now, only then will you see an unmute button. We do this webinar style, so I understand you don't see the unmute button just yet, but you will see it then. All we need from you is a yes, no, or I don't know to the information match or match. I just put your names together, Kath or Mitch brings. And that goes for any time you ever have a medium reading. Please let the medium do the work. All we need from you is a yes, no, or I don't know. Don't fill in the details. Don't feed the medium, as they call it. It's important that we know that our mediums really are working with people who have passed to the other side of life. This isn't coming from their minds or making it up, that they really are there. If that being said, if for some reason you say, "Oh, that's not a match," you can say no. No simply means a new opportunity. All right. So Kath and Mitch are beautiful human beings and they've got big shoulders. And if something isn't a match, just be honest. Okay. That's what we need. Integrity. That's what we need. And what is everyone else doing? We are listening in to see how this reading impacts us in our life. All right. So that's my request for you. So we usually have usually about 4 people or so that come through on our readings. And we like to play a feel-good piece of music when we do this. So we've got the song Mamma Mia, which we all know and love probably. So if you wish to sing along, you certainly can. The music is there not just to raise the energy, but when we feel good, I think miracles can happen. And I always, always, always just imagine my loved ones standing right here beside me, doing a little dance and giving me some love. And they don't just show up on Sunday gathering time. Friends, our loved ones are very much a part of our life. They can continue to learn and grow and explore everywhere in the universe and in their world, but they are just a breath away and can easily multitask and be here with us. So let's play our song and then we'll be back with our demonstration of mediumship.
No, isn't that brilliant? Those outfits, Sandra, wow. Can you imagine wearing that kind of thing now? You'd just get laughed at, wouldn't you? Sandra, can I ask, do you have Mamma Mia the Party events in the US yet?
Don't.
Oh, you need to do it, ladies and gentlemen. I did this year at the O2 in London, and part of the O2 is all set out like a Greek taverna, and it's tiered, so you sit in different places, and then you have, little by little, a three-course Greek meal, but with a live interactive play going on with all of ABBA music. It is amazing. So if you ever get the opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to come to the UK, book your tickets for Mamma Mia the Party. You will not regret it. 4 hours. 4 hours. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Yes, like a cabaret. Yes, yes, absolutely amazing it was. Well worth it. It was beautiful. The girls bought it for me and my son for my birthday. Yes, we do have that here. Oh, good for you. That's brilliant. Right. As I am twittering on, I am aware of a gentleman here, and as I am aware of him, I do believe that he worked on board ship, but I don't feel it's the military. I feel it's like a cruise ship. So I'm aware that he would have worked within catering on cruise ships. So to begin with, does anybody understand a gentleman? I don't know the relationship at the moment. I just kept seeing this gentleman walking up and down with all these trays of food, and I know he was on board a ship. So does that mean something to somebody so far?
Press your raise hand button if it does.
Okay. Do I know anybody? Do I know anybody? Do I know anybody who's worked on board ship? Oh,
No
hmm,
one yet.
no hands. Okay. Um, as I am aware of this gentleman, I do feel that the cruise ship is an American-based cruise ship, and I do feel that he comes from sort of the South Pacific area, that kind of area. Does that help at all? But I was aware of him working, and I do feel that he did this for many years as a young man.
Everybody's got to think, maybe think back.
Think, 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 think.
Somebody close in your real close to you, but think.
And as I said, I'm not feeling a relationship. I was aware of him, and I was aware that he knows somebody who's on here tonight, and it might be very tenuous in a sense that you haven't known this gentleman as a member of your family, but I just feel you have known him at some point in your life, a gentleman who would have worked on board the cruise ships. No?
No.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to put this gentleman to one side, but I am aware that whoever I need to speak to, I feel that Dad is in the spirit world, and I feel that when Dad was here, he is a gentleman who loved to sing along. So what we've just had, he was very happy to sing along in a party situation where everybody would have been singing. And I do feel that I'm not saying he had an excellent voice, but I do feel he thought he had a good voice, put it that way. Does this make sense to somebody, please? Dad in the spirit world, who, well, I know that he loved a good get together and a sing song, and he really made the most of it.
Thank you. Who understands this gentleman? Raise your hand, please. Nobody? It's very strange.
Hello.
Don't be shy. Kath, oh, Emily has her hand raised. Let's bring in Emily. Thank you.
Hello, Emily.
Hi, Kath. How are you?
I'm okay. Well, I was okay until nobody put the hand up, but yes,
Well,
I'm okay.
I was hesitant. I do know someone who worked on a cruise ship, but I'm not sure I can take the other details that were part of that. I guess I just don't know about the other details.
Okay. And you would understand Dad in the spirit world?
Yes.
Okay. And you would understand with your dad him enjoying, like what we've just done, which is I imagine almost 139 people have just sang along to ABBA in the comfort of their own home. But I felt like that your dad would enjoy that.
Singing along, not sure. I can't take that.
Okay. Hmm. And would you understand your dad enjoying everybody coming together, him being with all of the family? This time of year we look forward. Well, some people look forward to it, some people have a sense of dread about it. I appreciate that, but some families really do look forward to that opportunity to being together, to be together. Does that make sense with your dad?
Yes.
Okay. And would you understand that there would be quite a lot of people and it could be quite a noisy affair, Emily, when
Yes.
you're you've got quite a lot of people in your family who, shall we say, are not shy about making a noise.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So if sorry for saying about your dad, but I could hear all this noise. And a separate from aside that I kept being aware of this gentleman who worked on board cruise ships. And I didn't feel he was an elderly man. I felt that he was a young man. And as I say, I don't feel that he's connected to you family wise. I feel like it's just, somebody who you have met. You haven't met very often, but you have met somebody who used to work on a cruise ship who's now in the spirit world. And then I was aware of Dad. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
So if that makes sense to you, we'll move forward with this. And would you understand? I want to say that your dad is the kind of gentleman who I feel safe with, Emily.
Yes.
I feel protected by your dad. I feel like, especially when you were a little one, especially he loved nothing more than to scoop you up, you know?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And he he got some really strong arms as a young man, fit as a fiddle, as we say, and really strong arms. I feel like he could pick two people up on each arm and swing them round. And I also feel that he was quite a strong man in his character and personality as well. You'd understand that with your dad.
Yes.
And he makes me aware here that before he passed to the spirit world, there was doubts in his mind and lots of questions in his mind. I almost feel like your dad became not a little bit like the shadow of his former self, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Okay. And that strength and that he always had conviction about what he was talking about, and he's very knowledgeable. That didn't go. And being safe with him didn't go, but just for him himself, I feel as if he went within himself a little bit. And I know, I mean, I haven't spoken to Emily or seen Emily and seen that beautiful photograph for quite a while. But I know that you've had your own journey with your own difficulties and health and everything. But would
Yes.
you understand? You know the song Waterloo?
Yes.
That ABBA sing, Waterloo, my Waterloo. I feel, and you understand the meaning behind that, of course, I'm sure you do, um, where you have your battle and you can march on forwards and you've won. I feel like something recently, Emily, you've had your Waterloo, and I feel like you're able to say, it's not the end, but I've got my strength back to a certain degree and I'm getting on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you always have that doubt, I feel, about whether you're doing okay about things and questioning your own mind about, is this right for me? Are they right for me? Is this going to be okay for me? And I feel that your dad was always one of the people who could give you that confidence and reassure you that you're doing exactly the right thing. What other people do, you can't control, but you're doing your bit. Does that make
Oh,
sense?
yes. That's what I miss most about him. Yes.
Okay. Um, and you've been on a road of your own convictions and courage, and it feels like it's been a real uphill journey for so long. But I feel like you've plateaued, and we've come to a point where I feel like I'm leveling out a little bit. I feel like, oh, I can see now. I feel better about things. I feel that I have my confidence back. Yes, I feel like I have my confidence back to a degree. I do appreciate that totally. To have your confidence back is going to take some work and some patience on your behalf. But don't feel you always have patience with yourself, Emily, where you should.
That's true. That's
Oh,
very true.
that's okay. And I'm aware here that that time in your life where you just wanted to get home, shut the door, lock it, shut the world away, and have nothing to do with anybody and isolate yourself is long gone.
Yes. I would say yes to that.
Okay. And as you know, your dad was getting to that point where he was okay with seeing you guys, but he didn't want to see other people anymore. He wanted people to remember him how he was.
Yes.
And I feel like for you, you've been in this, like a chrysalis, and you're beginning to unfurl like a butterfly, and you're beginning to come out of that now.
Yes, that's very accurate. Yes.
And so fly, 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 Emily, and do what makes you happy, because for so long you've done things that really didn't make you happy, but it made other people happy. And now it's time for you. And Emily, a butterfly doesn't know what it looks like. We see that butterfly, we see how beautiful and unique and the bright colours and the vibrancy of that butterfly. We get to see it. So take a good look in the mirror and look at your vibrancy and look just how beautiful you are inside and out, please.
Thank you so much for that.
No, thank you. And thank you for being here and putting your virtual hand up. Thank goodness.
Thank you. This was so accurate. Truly, truly. Thank you so much, Kath.
Oh, thank you, Emily. Thank you. God bless you. She's a beautiful human being, isn't she? Absolutely beautiful. Now, I am aware of another dad here. And as I am aware of dad, I know that he must have been an absolute dream to have at a kiddie's party, because I know he can play tricks, I know he does tricks, and I know he can juggle, And I know that he can pull faces and he can do magic with the children. And he had the most infectious personality, this gentleman. And I don't feel it's his name, but I am aware here that the name of Walter in some way would connect with Dad, either Walter or Walters. I'm not sure, but does someone understand that, please?
All right, friends, you know what to do. Press your raise hand button if you understand that information, or you think you might.
Could take a while.
Good.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
They're honest.
They are. They are. I shall continue because Sandra, would you understand this with your dad? Would
No,
you understand him um, being able to entertain a room full of kids?
no,
Okay. Would you understand a gentleman like that, Sandra?
not that's coming to mind.
Okay. I am aware that when there was a birthday party, it was like, oh, he's here, he's here, he's here. So all the children would be very excited and he'd lead them into play and he'd do stuff with them. Yes, and Walter or Walters. So nobody understands this information. I was going to say I'm going home, but I'm already at home. Okay. If it's not Dad, and someone would understand this as a family member, um, and also I felt that he wore braces, that keep the pants up. I know you call them pants, we call them trousers. What do you call them braces, don't you?
Suspenders and
Suspenders.
yeah.
Oh, well, suspenders mean something totally different in the UK. You know that, don't you? Could be the Rocky Horror Show if it's in this country.
We have Shawnee
Yeah,
with
Shawnee, hello.
you could press your unmute button.
I'm unmuted.
Hello.
Okay. Hi.
Hi. Not sure, and this is the first time I've even gathered and joined this gathering, but not my dad, but a gentleman that was a father for sure to a lot of people, and definitely very much the rest of what you said fits him.
Okay. And you would have seen this gentleman at parties where he was absolutely in his element.
Yes.
Okay. And Shawnee, can I ask, would you understand Walter or Walters as a name?
Not a name, no.
Not a name? Do you understand it as a place?
There's a location close to where we lived that maybe would
Ah,
fit,
okay.
but nothing that was real significant that I'm aware of.
Okay. I can cope with that. And Shawnee, would you understand with this gentleman? He just feels like the kind of guy, as I said, who you'd love to have at children's parties and also adults' parties, I've got to say as well, not just children's. But he was the kind of gentleman who, when he walked into the room, almost it's like sunshine walked in with him. He just lit up the room. He's such a beautiful personality.
Yes.
Yes, and would you understand, Shawnee? I know you said he's not your dad, and I get that, but would you also understand your dad in the spirit world? Your dad being in the spirit world? Okay, I think you said yes. My sound isn't brilliant tonight. I don't know what it is or why it is, but there we go. But I was also aware here with that this other gentleman came in, and I felt it was Dad. And I know you said that this gentleman was a dad, but not your dad. And if this is correct, then I am aware here that your dad um, missed quite a lot because his working life took him away from home at times. Does that make sense?
No. And my answer actually was no to my I don't understand my dad in spirit world.
Oh, okay. I couldn't hear, so I
Like,
do apologize about that. Shawnee, would you understand father-in-law in the spirit world?
um, no.
No, it doesn't feel right if I'm honest. Um,
Yes, it may not be me. It may not be
it may
me.
not be you. Does anybody else understand this? I'm going trying to do this quickly because I'm aware Mitch is pacing up and down in the other room. Like somebody possessed at this moment in time. So I'm aware, Dad, in the spirit world, I'm aware that this particular gentleman, as he presents himself to me, was where, especially where children were concerned, someone who, oh gosh, he could definitely entertain quite a crowd of children. And I'm also aware that he was extremely kind and generous, and was very much like a breath of fresh air, and a ray of sunshine when he came in. And the name of Walter or Walters definitely links, but nobody understands this information. Is that correct?
That is correct.
That is correct. All right.
If someone thinks of it, please email me after.
Yes.
No,
I'm
'cause
gonna ask Mitch to come in. Are you ready?
No.
No, he's not ready. He is, but he's not. Do you want me to move out the way? Okay.
all right.
I can take some of it, but not sure. What does that mean, Lisa? Quickly.
Here, we'll talk to Lisa quickly and then we'll bring in
Okay.
Mitch for a couple of contexts.
Hi, real
Hi.
quickly.
Hi.
I could take all of it, and I did hear my dad's family name was Walters beforehand. So I can take everything except the magic. He wasn't very entertaining to kids, nice, giving, kind, but I don't think he did magic.
Lisa, can I ask you, did your dad use did he you know that trick where it looks like you've cut your finger off and I can't
Yeah,
what
yeah,
did he used to do that?
yeah.
Okay. Lisa, thank you for putting your hand up.
I'm sorry. I
It's
just thought it
okay.
would be
It's
for someone
okay.
else.
It's okay. It's okay. Lisa, would you understand very quickly because Mitch will be
Yeah,
wanting
sure.
to go. You'd understand you and your dad had quite a special relationship between the two of you.
Yes,
And you, if you know what I mean when I say you got each other.
yes,
You got each other's humor and you could finish each other's sentences. And when you weren't okay, he knew you weren't okay. You didn't never had to say anything. He just looked at you. What's going on, Lisa? What's happening,
yes,
Lisa? All
yes,
right. And I do feel, with the greatest of respect, there's never been another person who's got you like your dad got you.
true.
Okay. And I am aware here, you have a daughter.
No,
Have you got a daughter-in-law? Okay,
no,
no. There must be a lady in your life who's younger than you, sort of as a daughter generation away, who you have a lot to do with in your everyday life.
I'd have to think about that.
Okay. Would you understand someone who you work with?
Oh, yes, yes,
Okay.
yes,
You would understand that for her, you are very much like a bonus mum or a big sister, but
yes,
somebody
big
she
sister.
confides in. Yeah, she
Yes,
confides in you, and
yes,
she sees you as that person that she can come to, and you've really helped her to get out of a very difficult situation. Would that be true, Lisa?
yes,
Okay. And your dad is just so thrilled. You have been her 911.
yes,
and you've got her out of some pickles. And every time you go, oh my days, what is going on with this
Mm.
girl? But it's almost like you've been, because it was the magic part. You have been like a magician for her and changed her life around in ways that you don't really realize, Lisa.
Yes.
Okay. And he is so, so very proud of you, Lisa, because it's taken a lot out of you, but yet you've done it all. And it's a real selfless act that you've done of most recent times. And the spirit
Yes.
world want to thank you because that lady's still here, thanks to
I'm
you.
exhausted. I will say that. I am exhausted.
I bet you are. But thank you so much. And thank you for putting your hand up. And
You're
thank you for
welcome.
being a
Thank
wonderful
you.
human. Thank you. Sorry, Mitch.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. I've had many years of sitting in purgatory waiting to be able to work. I will quickly tell you this, people. We once changed it round after about 10 years working together, and Kath always going first. And we changed it. I said, "Oh, I thought that went all right at the end." She says, "Yes, we won't be doing that again."
It wasn't an
Well, take
experience
your
I
time.
enjoyed.
So, you never know what's going to come on your journey, but that was one that I was like, "Oh, okay." I'll just sit in purgatory waiting. Because there's nothing worse than waiting to actually work. And I don't like to have anything before I actually work. I don't want to be given information because then the old noggin comes in. But what I am aware of a lady. It does feel to me as though I've got mum as I'm referencing that. And we'd understand with mum that her biggest problem was actually stopping and filtering what she was thinking. And I'm also aware that she had a very, very quick mind, very astute lady. And she would have been of a generation where gentlemen thought that they, as gentlemen, could say what they wanted, but the little lady wasn't going to bite back. And mom was the sort of little lady who would bite back and could keep going once she'd bitten back. And I know that she would address people and take people. Facts and information were important to her, and she could remember what somebody said. And if you didn't get everything stacked up, your dates, your times, your actual body position in that chair at that time, she would be able to actually tell you because she had almost, well, I feel as though she got like a photographic memory as well and could address things. And literally, as she described them, she would be able to bring them alive because of how good of an orator she was when she described something. So an incredibly formidable lady, but if you were close to her, you were glad that she was on your side.
Thank you. All right. Who understands this lady? Press your raise hand button, please. Or thinks you might.
Come on,
No.
she's tapping the table now. Going, come
Oh,
on.
Stacy.
Sorry, I couldn't get my computer to change.
But would you understand? I've just got that like as I was waiting there, it's like tapping the table. She,
That would be her.
yeah, she's like, come on, come on.
Sorry,
But
Mom.
as much as she could put pressure by being her way, she was the most supportive of ladies that you could ever wish to meet. But to have her as a mother, you knew that it was like if you were in a wrestling competition, you were going back to your corner man who was a grizzly bear standing there 8 foot tall on his back feet, growling at the opposition, who's thinking, I don't want to go there. Can you understand that?
I can understand that, yes.
And it's because of her passion for her family and for because of the fact that she was a defender of others who couldn't defend themselves.
True, yes.
And as I'm feeling her presence come forward, but as I've said all this, she about herself, she could be very private and didn't like people knowing lots of stuff about her unless she wanted them to know.
That's absolutely true, yes.
Because it's like Okay. She just made me aware we share a trait. Gossip comes to me to die.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's like, oh, okay, right, okay, yeah. Well, and you know, it doesn't. It's no. I'm not going to pass it on because I don't know whether it's true or not. I'm only getting one perspective, and
Correct.
that's how she operated. She wanted to get all of the information, and you would have memories, particularly where school and high school and those sort of situations are concerned, that she would have gone to school and when I feel as though you were in a situation where they were trying to say that you hadn't achieved something and done something, but actually the criteria that they were setting was not realistic because of what they'd failed to provide, and the situation that they were asking you to work within was not a fair playing field.
Sure.
Yeah,
And
because
what you're saying.
because I'm aware of that fact of that. I'll She didn't need to shout, but she could do.
Right. She could, yes.
Yeah, she could do. And if somebody wanted to try and embarrass her, oh, good luck.
No. Yeah.
Because none of us knew where she would go with that.
Exactly.
And you know, she could like literally go off in any direction. And to the point that she was so caring and supportive for everybody else that at the end of her life, she got so used to doing it for everybody else, she found it difficult to accept that support because I've always done it.
So,
And that's where she wants to acknowledge that quiet gentleness that you brought within. And the way I've got to refer to it, it's a very strange. She says the package of support that you brought. So I
yeah,
know it's all in different aspects. It's not just
correct.
one thing. You did many different things. And um, would you understand that at the end your mum wasn't able um, to write, or that she had something written down that she said?
She could not write. Correct.
Right. Okay. Because I've just realized that there's if I needed to say something, I got to be, you know, so is it, there was like a
Yeah.
message that needed to be got to somebody, and I
Yeah.
feel as though that was
She
written
was
down.
very frustrated. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like she has got a very wonderful, varied sense of humor.
Oh,
The
yes.
reason why I say that is because she could be sarcastic, ironic,
Mm,
amusing, childlike,
mm,
giggly if she so chose,
right.
but it would depend on the company that she was keeping at that time.
True. Yes.
And this astuteness about her personality is, I feel very privileged that, and would have been one of few men that she would have actually allowed who she was to be truly shown to. Do you understand
I,
that?
yes. Yes, I
Um,
understand that.
not that she had an issue in that way, oh well, I don't like men or whatever, but she always felt it was important and focused most of her attention on supporting girls and supporting women. And I must say, she wants to acknowledge the support that you've been giving and you've been diminishing. Oh, it's nothing, it doesn't matter. It's only a little thing.
Mm,
And that's because, you know, the apple hasn't fallen far from the tree. But whilst you don't necessarily do it in a feisty way as your mum, but you just go, no, and that's it. No's no.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I know that there are times in our lives when we need our mum or we need our dad. And now is a time where you need your mum.
I do. Yes.
And it's important. I know you know, but it's important that you know that she's with you.
Yes.
And that doesn't stop your heartache or her heartache, because that's one thing she wants to get across from the spirit world. That way they still feel They're still aware of that pain, but it's a little bit more, they can see things and feel things with better clarity than where you can. And what I am aware is, she says, your North Star is right. And that was something that you would have a memory going back to childhood of your mum pointing out the North Star
Yes.
and saying, follow that.
Mm.
That is your light. Follow and always look for that North Star.
Wow. Yes. I haven't thought about that in years.
That's what she just wanted to just bring back there. And I could feel the emotion from her coming through. And it's
Yeah.
so important that I express it in that forthright way. Follow it. Passion. You know what you're doing is right. You know why you do it.
Mm.
Be you. Don't dim your light to accommodate others. You are
That's,
worth far more.
oh, I needed to hear that.
The way I've got to just put it, she says, let others turn their own light down. Because it's not about me shining, you shining better than anybody else, but it's about all of us shining. So you carry on doing the work that you do in bringing other people strength, kindness, bringing their light to the fore. And she's just so hands, she literally hands, she's talking, she's passionate about something. I know my hands are going and
Yes.
everything. It's all, I'm gesticulating with everything that's moving on the top half of my body. That's how I want to do shoulders, and it's all when you got her, you knew, and that's what I've got to get across to you. This passion for you. He still has this passion for you and wants you to live this life. She's that image is so beautiful because she's reminded me of something where it says about the butterfly. If you sit and allow it to alight itself on you, you will have the experience. But if you chase that butterfly, you will never catch it, and the experience will be lost. And that's what she wants to get across, is a little bit of extra philosophy from her. And thank you very much for speaking to
Oh
us.
my gosh. Thank you, Mitch. I needed to hear that so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mitch, you want to do one more?
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So I'm just questioning whether I'm going nuts. Okay, yeah, I know. They liked it. Somebody would understand a gentleman who would have been what we refer to as a mountain man. And I can't remember of the character that there was all the great big beard and long hair. He was in the 80s. There was a television, Grizzly Adams.
Yeah.
Someone understand someone who
He was
lived
lovely.
that type of life, and had that experience of living in mountains and woods. And I do feel as though it's connected within family, and I feel more so that I'm on dad's side as I've got this, but I may be wrong with that, but I'm feeling this physically big person, but this Grizzly Adams type character.
Thanks so much. Who understands this information? Raise your hand. No one's hands up yet, Mitch. Well, our younger people might not know who Grizzly Adams was.
Oh, Sandy.
I do.
Right.
Oh, Sandy.
Okay, so,
Sandy, if you can press your unmute button. Hi, Sandy.
Hi.
hi, Sandy. So you would understand this description that would fit a gentleman.
Possibly, yes.
Okay, and you'd understand that because what I saw first and foremost, and this is a bit where I was like question, I could see a mountain lion, and I could see. I mean, I'm not saying that he had his pet mountain lion and he had his pet grizzly bear, but you'd understand that this gentleman would have had an affinity with animals.
Yes.
Because there's a calmness and an assuredness that he treated animals equally with respect as he did with human beings.
Yes. Can I say he was Native American?
Right. Okay. Well, you understand this mountain lifestyle that I want to be. I need to have time on my own as well as being part of community.
Yes.
Because that's very much how I got to get. But I've got this. It's the physical size. I know that I'm not a small individual. And I have this physical, and I know you said that he's Native American, but I'm aware that the spirituality aspect was something that you just felt it. You didn't need to see it, you felt it.
Yes.
And that's very much what I'm aware of this inner power and energy. And he physically walked this life as a guide for others because I'm aware of the feeling and the sensations that he's making me aware of what I experienced as a young boy when I could feel the presence of my guide behind me.
Yes.
And that's power, but also that gentleness. And what I'm aware of here, what he's wanting to get across with you as well, is that you don't actually acknowledge the power that you have because the words that you use, you often rein them in because you don't want to upset people. Do you understand?
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm aware of is that there are times when, we need to give a little bit of air to those wings and allow things to fly. And you would understand how recently, especially the last week or so, that you've bitten your lip that hard, you were like, I can't think straight because I so want to spit these words out.
There are
Um,
moments like that. Yes.
right, because that's what he's aware of. It's like, I just want to spit them out. I just want to let them go. And they're not going to be little balloons that are popping out. It's like darts that are going to come out. But you've been so aware and you've held back for so long that you don't want to hurt people. And so, but it's affecting you, holding it in and you restricting you. You're not allowing yourself to be you. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay, because that's something for him that was important. That sometimes we have a saying, I'm sure it's the same over there, that you can't make an omelette without breaking a few eggs.
Okay.
And, that's the sort of situation that I feel as I'm in, where I've just got to, it's got to happen. Things have to move forward. Whatever the situation is, there's things that need to move forward in a positive way. And there's been quite a bit of procrastinating around this particular situation that he's wanting to encourage you. That's the way I've got to put it, because he's not telling you what to do.
Okay.
He wouldn't do that. He would create, and I feel as though he would tell the odd story which would generate an understanding of what he was trying to say, but he's not telling you that you have to do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But he says, do what is right for you within yourself. That is what is important. Because if we don't do what's right within ourselves, then we are less. We are dimmer. Our light isn't shining. And he was a great believer in your soul and your spirit emanating. And his emanated, as does yours. But at this moment in time, you're like, wow, I don't want to shine too brightly. It is nearly Christmas. And I feel as though there's like a bit of a competition around this scenario as well. So please take his guidance, his offering, as how the way that I've got to put his offering, and trust yourself.
I will do that. Thank you so much, Mitch.
Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you so much, Mitch, and thank you, Kath. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a few announcements, a few closing words, and then a special little video at the end. First of all, of course, not everyone can get a reading, but please know, not just the holiday season, but any time of year, your loved ones are your biggest support. Keep talking to them. I just spoke to a woman who has got a picture of her husband in every single room in the house, talks to him all the time, and trusts the words that come back really are him. So they are around and they love us. So some announcements. First of all, you can find Kath and Mitch at their website is thesoultrust.com. They offer something free once a month. It's called the Grief Cafe. This month, it will be the 29th of December. These aren't recorded. It's 90 minutes with people that care. Like I said, they're both advanced grief recovery specialists. It's a wonderful community that comes, and good conversation, good people that care. So you can find registration for that. Just go to my website, wedon'tdie.com, click on the store page, and you'll see that coming up on the 29th. Also, Scott Milligan is back with me on Friday for In the Arms of Eternity. Next Sunday is number 300, and I'm joined by the wonderful medium Tim Southwell. That'll also be our Christmas episode. Not all Christmas music, but I'm sure I'll have a Santa's hat on or something fun. So if you want to dress up and join me, you can. Our new film just came out this past week. We mentioned it not too long ago, Evidence of the Afterlife, Saving Evidential Mediumship. If you are interested, just go to Apple TV and type in Evidence of the Afterlife. You can find it there. We've got some great new podcasts. First of all, I love this one. I spoke to a wonderful man named Joshua Silverberg, who's a musician and recording artist and also producer of the new TV show called Miracle. He himself has had a near-death experience, but they are documented miracles, and it's just a fantastic show and a really great conversation that I had with him that gives you faith in a much bigger picture than we have. And then also on my Shades of the Afterlife, talk about spirit guides. That's the topic. And going into the holiday season again, we want to know that we are supported. So I have included a meditation in there for you to not only meet up with your spirit guide, but also your loved ones. So if you go to wedon'tdie.com, right there on the homepage, you will see those episodes. Also, if you go to the Sunday Gathering page, you can get a little more inspiration. You can register for next week, and also you can see a whole bunch of past Sunday gatherings. A shout out to those of you who have made our Sunday Gathering possible by donating. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts. If you choose to ever donate to our Sunday Gathering, you'll also find that there at the Sunday Gathering page at wedon'tdie.com. So just a few last words for me on this topic of our journey. Well, our journey isn't over yet here on earth. And I don't think it's too late to dream and explore and do. And while we do have that journey of the soul, and no matter what you do, there are lessons to be learned and experiences to have, I do think that we can still, if you want to create a bucket list or a right now list, even if you're alone, think of something you've always wanted to learn. There's certainly YouTube videos, there's groups you can belong to. You don't even have to travel outside of your house, but sometimes doing something new might be just what you need, and you never know who you're going to meet. So you can also, I say this often, if you do something new with someone you love or you care about, that's the best way to create a memory. So I'm sure Kath and Mitch have all kinds of memories from their travels and their family adventures as well. So it's not too late. Do what makes you happy is message that first came through for the first loved one today. And you can never go wrong. So that's it for me. I'm going to pass it over to one of my friends for the closing prayer.
Thank you, Sandra. Infinite Spirit, as we bring this gathering to a close, we thank you for the opportunity to be bonded once more through the understanding of our soul, through reaching out and knowing that we are part of a community that cares, but also one that shares that love that we have within us. But let us take what this community is and let it shine within this world. Let us be a North Star, a guiding light, a special, wonderful light that we bring with us and we come into people's lives and we make that difference. And let us also recognize those that come into our life and make a difference with us. And be grateful, thankful, and look for those little, tiny little diamonds within the difficulties of our living experience. But know that we are part of your divine power and that we and everyone we love is and always will be infinite. Thank you, Father. Amen.
Thank you so much, Mitch and Kath. Well, as we go into our closing song, Kath and Mitch had told me about that Mamma Mia experience, and I actually found a little video on it. It's just their advert. But I thought, whether we do that or whether we look in our community for some new adventure, how about putting something like that on our journey? So I'm going to play that, and then we'll say goodbye to you, fine people. Here we go. A little taste. My mom says, don't wait for things to happen, make them happen. Let's make that commitment this week. Love you all. We'll see you next week. Thanks again, Kath and Mitch. Thanks to our friends and
Thanks, Sandra. Thank you, everybody.
Merry
Thank you.
Christmas
Merry
to you
Christmas
all.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.